Today we've got lots to talk about. Celebrity has updated their COVID health protocols. Princess has a huge event this afternoon, as well as a $1 deposit sale going on along with their Love Boat sale. We've got so many onboard updates that are really helpful for those of us looking forward to a Princess cruise, trying to decide which cruise line we want to go on, what we want to try next. And then also we are going to talk about the easiest way to take bottled water on board a cruise ship with you, or soda as well, if you want to do that rather than getting yours on board. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Saturday. It's October 1st of 2022, and it's really nice to be here with you. I just wanted to start off by saying, Hurricane Ian, I think, is going to be on our minds no matter where we are in the United States and perhaps even in the world for a really long time to come. The photos that I've seen of all of the devastation and all of the sadness that goes along with that will not soon be forgotten. And I just wanted to say that all of you there in Florida and anyone affected by that remain in my thoughts and prayers, and Gordon's as well. Now, along with that, we are a cruise news channel here and sharing our experiences cruising. I did want to let you know that today, Saturday, the port of Tampa, Jacksonville, and Port Canaveral those are the three ports in Florida that were affected by Hurricane Ian. Those ports are opening back up again today, as well as along the eastern seaboard there. We've got Norfolk, Virginia, Baltimore, and Charleston. Those have also been affected, but it sounds like between today and tomorrow, hopefully cruise ships will be able to come back into port and get everybody back so that they can start other cruises. Although I think some cruises are going to be cut short by a day since, and some longer clearly, that have been out to sea for much longer than expected. So I'm really glad that things are starting to get back to normal. I know that the economic impact of having cruise ports closed is huge in these areas, and surely the people that live there need their jobs back so that they can start to rebuild their lives. And I am going to make a special effort, and I would challenge all of you as well, that whenever you go on a cruise departing from Florida for the foreseeable future, do your best to support the local economy there. I'm just going to pay a little bit more attention. We usually fly in the day before. I'm going to make sure that I eat dinner at a local restaurant. I'm going to try to do some shopping. I'm just going to try to think of ways to support the people there, as well as donating money. Gordon and I think that sharing what we have is really important. So I just wanted to put that out there. Now, the next really big thing that has happened is, you remember last Monday, just this most recent Monday, that Canada changed what their protocols were with not requiring the testing anymore, not requiring quarantine anymore, not requiring the ArriveCan app. And so we have noticed, as you heard the trickle down this last week, as I told you about the different cruise lines that have changed their protocols, we have now heard from Greece. And I would throw in there that Greece changed theirs as well. Wait, I'm going to tell you about Celebrity now. Greece changed their protocols as well, which was really amazing, really a relief for a lot of people. And so Celebrity's new protocols go into effect today, October 1st. And so if you are vaccinated, this is for people who are vaccinated. If you are going to be going on a sailing that is 9 nights or less, you don't have to worry about being tested. If you are going to be going on a sailing with Celebrity that is 10 nights or longer, if you're vaccinated, you have to do a COVID test within 3 days of embarkation. You can do one of the self-tests. It does not have to be monitored. And then when you bring the test results, you either have to show a printout, a screenshot, or just a photo of the test result. And so to me, that is really simple. So you can do your test at home or in your hotel room, take a picture of it, however you want to do it. But just make sure that you bring those results with you. And then if you are not vaccinated, for all sailings, you are going to have to do that COVID test within 3 days. And it's the same thing. It does not have to be monitored or supervised. And you just either have to show the results like in a printout or a photo of it, or you can even bring that actual test with you, Celebrity says. And so they do have a really important reminder, which I am sure that all of the cruise lines would like us to all remember, that they have their protocols for boarding a ship. If any of the locations that you are going to has any different protocols for anything, you've got to make sure that you are aware of those and be prepared for them. Alrighty? The next thing that I wanted to bring up today is I'm going to try to remember to just, I had the fun thought to just do a little short later on and remind you when it gets closer, but Princess is having that special event on the Discovery Princess this afternoon. It's going to be going on at 4 p.m. Pacific time, so that's 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, and 7 p.m. there on the East Coast. It's supposed to be a special kickoff for their new The Real Love Boat TV show that they're doing, and that TV show is just going to be starting airing this Wednesday night on CBS at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Alrighty, and so that's a big deal. And here's a fun thing that I didn't realize until just recently. They are going to give away a cruise with each episode. To celebrate the inaugural season of the Real Love Boat show, they're going to give away one 7-day Mexico or Caribbean cruise for 2 in a balcony for each episode. And so that is open to everybody. All you have to do is watch the show and answer one question about the episode, and I'll put the link to that down below, but I think that's a really fun, sounds fun. There you go. So you can do it that way. And then also starting yesterday through October 5th, Princess is having a $1 deposit sale. Like I said briefly in my video yesterday, that is really handy especially if you're someone that you've got a lot of cruises booked and you're putting your money towards ones that are going sooner, and then you just want to put a deposit down so that you've got the cabin you want, you're sure to get to go on that cruise, and then you can pay for it as it gets a little bit closer. And so it's really handy when they do those. So I'm just putting that out there. If you need help with that, of course, send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Or, of course, you can book it yourself. And wanted to make sure everybody's really aware of that. And that does combine with the Love Boat sale that's going on right now. So the Love Boat cruise allows on some cruises, it's a reduced price, like up to 30% off. That doesn't apply to all cruises, just certain cruises with Princess are allowing the discount. But then also on all of the Princess cruises, if you book your cruise and you either book the Princess Plus with it or the Premier package, either package, then you get all of that for the same price, plus like the usual price, but you get a $100 shore excursion credit to go with it. And the way they do it is like Holland America's, just when you book your excursion and you book the one that costs at least $100, that comes right off. So it's really nice. And then if you end up booking, I should add that if you end up booking an excursion that is under $100 and you only do excursions that are under $100, I called and checked, they will, before you sail, they will credit that towards what you have paid. So I think that's just great. Now, let's talk about for just a minute a couple of things. First of all, Carnival Corporation stock yesterday sunk 23%. It declined to 23% over the course of trading yesterday on Friday. And it was really interesting to me. So I read several articles about this, and they say that it's not because demand has fallen off for cruising, but they really tie it to the fact that they did not quite, the cruise lines did not quite meet their earning expectations, and they are tying that to the increase in fuel costs, the increase in food costs, and some of the supply chain problems that they have had. So I found that really interesting, and to me it's interesting because it comes right at the time that Carnival Cruise Lines has announced that they are charging for the room service menu items. You'll still get to have the little breakfast items that they have offered for free during the breakfast time, but other than that, you are going to be charged for everything, all your sandwiches, your salads, just everything that used to be complimentary, you are going to have to be charged for. Now that from John Hield has said is twofold. One, they notice that people waste a lot of food, and I get that. People do waste a lot of food, so I'm with you on that. And the other reason that I think it is honestly, food has gotten so expensive, and in the end, these cruise lines need to pay their debt, and they need to be profitable. And so, you know what though? Also, I would like to say that John Hield pointed out that there are lots of other places that you can go eat on the ship that are complimentary, still included. And so, if you don't want to pay for somebody to bring you your food in the cabin, like go get your food. You can bring it back to the cabin. I noticed there was a discussion, though, about people bringing food back from the main dining room. Now, my experience, and I have only cruised on Princess, is you do not take food out of the main dining room to your cabin. I don't think that that's new. I mean, if they brought you your dinner and you're right there and you stand up and take your plate and leave, I don't know if they would stop you or just let you go. But traditionally, you don't go there and order food and then take it to your cabin. So let me know what your experience has been, though. I really wanted to know that, as well as if you cruise on other cruise lines, because usually the dinner that they serve in the main dining room is unique to that location. You don't go pick that. It's usually different than what they offer in the buffet. It's different from other locations on the ship. So I'd like to hear what your experience is with that, and also let me know what you think about them starting to charge for some things. I have an update on a cruise from someone on a cruise ship right now that I think will maybe inform our thinking about that just a little bit, and I'll let you know when we get there. So right now we've got someone who is on the Enchanted Princess right this very minute. And so they pointed out that they had to, at embarkation, show their testing and their vaccination, proof of vaccination. And so they were wondering why they had to upload it into the app. And you know what? I've had that same thought, but you know what I have noticed is that what you have to show at embarkation sometimes varies by port a little bit. And so a lot of times Princess contracts out their port workers, and it could just be the way they are managing it there. I don't know. I'd like to hear what all you guys are having to show. Like when we so let us know what your experience has been lately. But I still, whenever I board a cruise, like I have my medallion, but along with my passport, I always have our proof of vaccination. I always have our proof of our negative COVID test when that was required for the cruises that we were on. And surely I will moving forward. So just kind of think in your mind all of the documents that are required, even if they're in the app, and have them really handy at embarkation, because that I love that so much better than having to dig through my bag and wonder where I put it. So anyway, they had that, and then they said room service is much better because there is so much more choice. Items from the specialty restaurants are available for cost, but all of the standard items on Princess are still complimentary. Food at the International Cafe is good, and their coffee is also excellent. I have always enjoyed the International Cafe. I think it's amazing that it's open for 24 hours, so that if you can't sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can go sit down and have something to eat if you find that you're hungry. They said the club class, like they are used to, is always excellent. They never had to wait. The service on the ship, they said that all of the crew are absolutely amazing. And then they did say that the food in the main dining room and in the buffet is not quite up to snuff. They have done many, many cruises with Princess, and they started cruising back in 2005, and surely there is a difference. And so they're trying to decide if they're going to try another cruise line as well. Now, we also have Let's Go family members, and this is really interesting, sailing right now on the Royal Princess out of San Francisco. So there are 1,500 passengers on board, which is really nice. It's not crowded at all. That Real Housewives of Cheshire is filming on board right now, but I was really happy to hear it. They said it's no big deal. You see them around a little bit, but it's not disruptive at all, so that's great. Here is the big deal, though, you guys. Here we just have Hurricane Ian on the East Coast. There is now Hurricane Orlene on the West Coast, and that is affecting their itinerary. So they were supposed, like I said, out of San Francisco, they were supposed to go clear down to Manzanillo and then back up to Puerto Vallarta, but they are no longer able to do that. So they have taken Manzanillo and Puerto Vallarta off of the itinerary because that goes into the area that they would be affected by that. And they are going to go to Mazatlan, and they will be there for 2 days now. And then they will go back. They'll go to Cabo San Lucas as normally scheduled on their itinerary and continue on as scheduled from there. Now, I know Manzanillo is a ways south of Puerto Vallarta. That's included on our Total Eclipse group cruise that we're going to go on. I'm so excited about. That'll be my first time there. And so I am really happy to hear, though, that it sounds like they're still having a wonderful time on this ship anyway. But here's a question I have for all of you. Like, tell me, I want to know what your favorite things are to do in Mazatlan. So I have only been to Mazatlan once. It was when we went last fall on our first Mexican Riviera cruise, and I thought Mazatlan was just fine. We did the salsa and salsa excursion with the ship, and it was just fine. We learned how to make salsa. To be truthful, I was a little taken aback about what a big deal they made about drinking. Drinking alcoholic beverages was like a really big deal, and the people that ran it, and it probably just depends on who the people are who run it, it's kind of like I haven't seen such a big deal made out of what you're going to drink and like how much you drink since I knew friends in like junior high that were sneaking it, or in high school. I was like, oh, this is just funny. So I thought that was really interesting. I wouldn't do that again. But like I said, that probably does have a lot to do with who is just running the show that day. So anyway, tell me what your favorite things are to do in Mazatlan, because as they were saying this, I thought, oh, if I had 2 days in Mazatlan, I don't know what I would do. So I would love some insight from all of you. This time in Mazatlan, I've been looking at going on the hop on hop off bus because I thought that would give me a really nice look at the whole city. And so that's what I've been thinking of doing, but let me know what you think. Now we have got another update that also has to do with that Hurricane Orlene, and that is the Sapphire Princess. They have had to take Puerto Vallarta off of their cruise as well, and they now get a stop in San Diego. And I thought that would be wonderful. San Diego is absolutely beautiful. There is so much to see there, so much to do that I think that's a pretty good trade-off. And I am really sorry if anybody was taking that cruise to get to go to Puerto Vallarta. Hopefully you'll get to go another time. Puerto Vallarta is just extraordinary. It is so beautiful there, but some days, the weather, you can't help it. Now we've got a couple of updates from passengers, our Let's Go family members who are on the Ruby Princess right now, and I really appreciate it. So as I've been telling you, going along, Code 4 for Life have been on the Ruby Princess. They were on like last week and then this week, and so they did those 2 back-to-backs, and they said that it has just been extraordinary. They have been having the very best time, and the most recent update, I really appreciate, they said they're having a wonderful time, and the past 2 cruises, these last 2 weeks, have been very, very smooth, and their internet actually even worked good enough to upload a couple of videos. Now keep in mind their videos are much shorter than mine, and theirs don't need chapters, but I just have all this stuff to tell you, and I love that they're so different because I don't miss one of their videos. They do an excellent job, and then I think it's really fun that there are so many people that love to talk about cruising, and it's all a little bit different. I just love it. Now, the other person that we've got on the Ruby Princess also gives us lots of information. She said that the production that the production shows are wonderful as usual. She said the food and the service in the main dining room are really good. They really enjoyed the food this time, and I remember Code 4 for Life said that the food this time is better than it was last time. So hopefully we are on an upward trend here with the food. They were lucky enough, they were eating in the main dining room. They were able to ask for the same table and the same waiter for every night. They said the buffet is self-service with nobody keeping an eye on the hand washing. It feels like it was just before the pandemic, mostly the same variety for breakfast and lunch. Everything is fine, nothing to write home about. They have been able to order drinks lots of times with the Medallion Class app, and they have come to them no problem. Their cabin steward is wonderful, offered to do the turn down service, and of course they said yes. And this is really exciting, you guys. They said that this is their fifth cruise since the cruising restart, and for the first time they have not seen a whole huge chunk of a deck cordoned off or blocked off for quarantining people. And so they asked about it, and they were told that it's because there are a few people needing those, and also they are starting to quarantine guests in their own cabins. So that would explain why we are seeing blocks of cabins come up for sale on these cruises that were previously sold out. So if there's a cruise that you were looking at and you could either not find a cabin that you liked the location of, or you thought it was sold out, like hurry and go take a look, because it just might be available now. So I really appreciate all of your updates. I think that is amazing news that maybe those cabins are available now. Now, this is someone that is on that amazing Trans-Pacific Majestic Princess cruise, and they were kind enough that they have sent us a couple of updates, and so I just wanted to let you know the most recent things that they have told us. So they have now been to Hawaii, and I believe that they're on their way further on that Trans-Pacific cruise, and so they have had a chance to eat in more of the main dining rooms and the International Cafe, and I really thought it was kind of fun because they kind of rated on a scale of 1 to 10, which to me is really kind of helpful, although I know it can be subjective, but it gives us an idea of kind of what they're expecting. They said the Medallion app has been working really well. They've even tried to order drinks poolside, and then when they moved somewhere else, the people found them and gave them their drinks, the crew members. He said that the buffet is okay and what they would expect from a typical buffet. Fewer selections, but the staff is very good. They would give it a 7 out of a 10. The International Cafe is good. They said it was an 8 before COVID, and it's still an 8. The main dining room, they are eating club class because they are in a suite. It says they are cramming more people into the space than used to, so not quite as good of an experience. Fewer food selections, but most are good and what to expect, and that the staff is very good. And they used to say it would be a 9, and now it's a 7. Alfredo's, which he said is the best pizza at sea, and I would have to second that. If you haven't been to an Alfredo's and you are going to go on a princess ship that has an Alfredo's, you have to go there. Along with that, I'll talk about it more another day, but I want you to start giving me what your suggestions are for sailing on Celebrity, because I need to know what to look for. Now, also room service, they said there are much fewer selections. Used to be a full meal including dinner courses, and now it's just mainly salads, burgers, sandwiches, and snacks. So it seems like more of a lunch option, not so much of a dinner option, but the service is really good. You usually get your room service order within 30 minutes, which I think is just great. So this is where I was wanting just to point this out. He said that there are fewer menu items than that they have seen before, and a little bit of a shift. Rather than being able to order your whole dinner, now it is more your sandwiches and salads. And so I'm wondering if that is something that Princess is moving to. They haven't clearly started charging for those items yet. They're still complimentary, as is room service. The only time room service costs on Princess is if you order pizza. If you order pizza, it's a $3 room service charge, okay? Just be aware of that. But everything else, it sounds like though, and you know what, if they have to slim down some of their offerings, I get it. And a salad and a sandwich I think is really nice. And then if you want a whole dinner, you can go to a dining room. They said that the Crown Grill is still really good, but they also noticed that the menu options for that are a little bit fewer, but the service was still excellent. They used to think it was a 10, and now it's a 9. And I think that's really good. You know, we have favorite places to eat here, and sometimes you go and some days it's better than others, but we still go. And then the Harmony is still not open for dinner, but they hope it will be in a few days. And now they have been doing the suite breakfast. So if you're not aware, usually when you're in a suite, you can go to the different specialty restaurants for breakfast. So the Harmony suite breakfast was really good, and they've done it at Sabatini's, the Crown Grill, and Sterling, depending on the ship, which that they've been on. But they said that it was really, really good this time. They said that the sweet breakfast has always been one of the highlights of the cruise because it's always delicious. It was a 10 before, and it is still a 10. So thank you very much. I really appreciate him telling this. And I forgot to tell you also, he said that they just announced that one of the diesel generators has stopped working, and despite all of their efforts to repair it, they cannot do it. So they're going to have to go a little bit slower. So there's that. And then they got to, because today's October 1st, Thursday night, they got to stay overnight in Honolulu, so that's wonderful. And they got there Thursday, got to spend all of Thursday night, and they're not leaving Honolulu until 11 p.m. Friday night last night. I think that's absolutely wonderful. Talk about excellent overnight opportunities, because it just really opens up how much you can see and how much you can experience in a port. So we will look forward to hearing about that. Now, let's talk for just a minute about, we have a Let's Go family member, and they said that they have a hand truck. And what they do is, that's collapsible. It's just flat when you're not using it. So what they have done is they just use it like as their little rolling, like carry-on bag type thing. And they put on there the bottled water that they want to take on board, and they put on a couple of those 12 packs of soda and just take it right on board with them. They said that Princess does not mind at all. So I would love to hear from all of you who cruise other cruise lines as well, so that we know if they mind as well or not. And so they just take it on board. They said anything that we have left and haven't drank at the end of the cruise, they just give it to the crew members, and they're always happy to receive it. And so for those of you that would like to do that, I thought that was a really handy way to let you know to do it. And especially, it sounds like if it's just a little hand truck and it flattens out, that's just awesome. And so let me know if any of you have experienced that before. Like, do you take your water or your soda on board with you? And if so, how do you do it? And what do you think about it? And so I'd just love to hear about that. So I really appreciate you all sticking here with me for this. I look forward to reading your comments below. You all left so many amazing comments, giving so much information about what you like to do when you get on the cruise ship. So if you missed that video, go catch it if you want to read the comments and add what you like to do right when you get on board a cruise ship. And we'll be doing some more fun things to talk about this next week. We just had so much news to get caught up on this week, but I would really appreciate your comments on everything that we talked about. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We really need you with us. Our Let's Go family is growing, and we would like it to grow even more, because then we get to share more experiences and have even more fun together. I'll be talking. Oh, and you know what? If you appreciate this video, please do give it a thumbs up. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.